Right. Okay, folks. So we're inshallah going to be dealing with 21 arguments by Oxford scholar Dr. Joshua Little and his critiques of Hadith. The reason why it's 21, it's because the intention is to give you so much. It's to overwhelm you, basically. You see, he even admits in the beginning of the video that like the first 7 aren't even like strong arguments. They're the most trivial arguments, and that's the intention. It's just to give you so much that you don't know how to deal with it. If it was just like, hey, I'm gonna give you guys the top 7 arguments, then yeah, many people will look into it, will put out responses, whatever. But hey, if it's 21, it's gonna take you a very long time to go through the whole thing. So, and by the way, that's the first point. Second point is, every time I've asked people about, because people have asked me about this video, said, why don't you put a response after this video? I always say, which specific point bothers you? Which of the 21 points have been giving you doubts? I'd never get an answer to that. It's because there's not one specific point that's an issue. It's just that, 21 points. What is there a problem here, guys? La, there's nothing. It's just the claim. It just feels heavy. It just feels heavy. That's the issue. Okay, because there's so many arguments. But now, when we actually get to the arguments, you're going to be like, okay, is that really what was going on? Yallah. So let's get to this.
Hadith are absolutely full of contradictions.
Oh, by the way,
there aren't that many contradictions within the Sahih material, so to speak. There are some, and you can find lists if you.
He says, when you actually apply Sahih, it clears up.
This picture emerges that Hadith were being mass fabricated. And this is the traditionalist view, that Hadith were being mass fabricated.
He's right, man. There was a lot of fabrications. And the Muhaddithin were there to combat the fabrications.
What we can observe is a rapid numerical growth in Hadith. And so what we also have, for example, there's a report that Ibn Abbas only heard 9 or 10 Hadith about the Prophet.
So here's the thing. Imam Ahmed is asked specifically, he's asked about the narrations that, this is Muhammad bin Nasr saying, I asked Abu Abdullah, how many did Ibn Abbas narrate sama'an, saying I heard? So he said 10 hadiths. So Imam Ahmed isn't quoting hadiths in which Ibn Abbas is saying the Prophet said or the Prophet ordered, but he's specifically counting the hadiths in which Ibn Abbas is saying, I heard the Prophet, peace be upon him, say. Those are 10.
What actually will often happen is that people's memories contaminate each other. So rather than preserving, everyone can just converge on a false memory. And this is discussed in as well.
Okay, so here's the thing, folks. Yes, contaminations can exist. You can influence someone to think in a specific way. People can be affected by what you've claimed to see in regards to a specific event. It's possible. It's possible. But is this something that's specific to Hadith? No. This is something that can be applied to all history. So it seems like Joshua's issue is with history. It's with testimony in general. It's not just with Hadith. It's with everyone. So contaminations, yes, they exist. Contaminations were caught out by the Muhaddithin. Friggin' find someone in history who's done that, ya Joshua.
I mean, the basic point here is just that there is a lot of evidence in the form of like extreme variation across hadith corpus. If you look really closely and you actually you measure rates of variation and you don't gerrymander the evidence, you find that it actually is at the level of a game of telephone. It is actually that extreme.
Wallah, Joshua, even if I was someone who was a kafir or a murtad or anything, I would be embarrassed to make a claim like this.
There was no effective method for distinguishing between authentic and inauthentic hadith. The traditional methods of evaluating hadith did not work. People who are pious and orthodox lie all the time. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows this about every other sect. Everyone knows this about every other religion. And we already saw this from, for example, Yahya ibn Sa'id al-Qattan when he was talking about the Salihin, the pious people.
The earliest book that contains this quote is Sahih Muslim. And Muslim says, after quoting Yahya ibn Sa'id al-Qattan, he says that the lies are being mentioned on their tongue. It's not that they intend to lie. So basically, it's they're quoting lies. But even if we assumed, let's assume that they're lying, then they would no longer be trustworthy, pious people because they are fabricators of hadith. Hada Javad, man, like right now, you can imagine what he's going through.